The FIRE movement has convinced an entire generation that the purpose of life is to accumulate as much wealth as possible and never work again. This is a crazy idea. Welcome to the hidden game. Let's talk about the FIRE movement, or as they call it, financially independent and retire early. I'll keep the introduction of FIRE movement to a minimum. FIRE movement is basically about frugality, about extreme saving, and aggressive investing. A few numbers that are pertinent to our discussion are FIRE number for an individual, which is 25 times the annual expense. And the other number is the withdrawal rate from the corpus, which is 3 to 4% of the corpus for the annual expense for that individual living year after year during the retirement period. So think about it for a second. A group of individuals, maybe in thousands, living the decade when they are the healthiest, when they are most productive and are really ambitious, they are spending their decade saving as much as possible so that they can stop doing things. Not start doing things, stop doing things. They want to stop doing their job, stop participating in workforce, stop building new things, and stop working altogether. If an alien species ever came to Earth and studied the FIRE movement, they would understand that the highest form of aspiration for humans is to not work at all, to be permanently unemployed. Now, early retirement doesn't even make sense. It is mathematically illogical. However, we have convinced ourselves that this is the wisdom based on a lot of dubious compound interest growth mathematics written on a spreadsheet. Now, I think that the mathematics or the logic behind the FIRE movement is intellectually mistaken or bordering on intellectually dishonest in the field of personal finance. Financial independence is not bad. Financial independence is great. It's fantastic. It is the unsaid assumption that gets smuggled in along with FIRE movement that is the problem. And that unsaid assumption is work is bad. If I were to take out work from someone's life, happiness will come in and fill that void. Now, we know patently this is a wrong assumption. This is not supported by human psychology. This is not supported by evolution. This is definitely not supported by game theory. Game theory suggests something far more uncomfortable. The individuals following the FIRE movement, they are spending the decades of their life optimizing on a game that is not aligned with human flourishing. They are optimizing the wrong game. And if you optimize a wrong game, if you try to win a wrong game, you don't win, you lose, or you get to a destination which was not intended for you and you arrive there faster. Let's understand how. The core principle of FIRE movement is quite seductive. It is to work hard now. It is to save as much as you can, invest as aggressively as you can, achieve your FIRE number, and escape. Escape from what? Toxic boss, yes. Escape from a toxic work environment, absolutely. But escape to do what? Escape to consume. Well, human beings are not consumption machines. They cannot consume indefinitely. For hundreds and thousands of years, the human species survival dependent upon people who contributed. In a society, people who mattered are the ones who participated and contributed towards the society in a positive way. So if someone comes along and tells you, forget about the participation part, here's the escape hatch, I'll see you on your way out, you should be extremely suspicious. If retirement were to be the only goal for humans, then you would see a lot of billionaires, millionaires retired. You would see a lot of social workers retired. Nobody at a certain age or above a certain age would be happy working at all. If freedom meant doing nothing, a lot of wealthy individuals around the world would be doing nothing except for maybe watch Netflix. But we see that people engage in writing books, writing novels, running a foundation, maybe starting a business. The pattern is obvious here that the intellectual rigor required to work is not a bug. It is a feature. It is a feature that makes sure that society values the contribution of the individual. And as people gain financial independence, they have the flexibility of choosing the game that they want to play. There is a particular term in game theory that maps to what the FIRE followers are pursuing, and that term is optionality. You see, people who are financially independent, they have more options. So financial independence expands optionality. However, retiring early reduces or destroys that optionality. For some reason, in FIRE community, this reduction in options or reduction in optionality for an individual is celebrated. It is considered the form of achievement that the FIRE community wants to pursue. Options bring power to the person who is holding them in a negotiation. Just for example, if an employee has the option of quitting anytime they want, they have more power in a negotiation with their employers. On the other side, let's say an investor who has the option of either investing or not investing in a particular business, they have the power in discussions or in negotiations with a group of businesses. The power comes from holding that option. The power doesn't come from exercising it. The best negotiator is not the individual who leaves the table first. It is the individual who has the option of leaving, who can leave, but uses this option to not accept a bad deal. Now, the financial independence gives you that optionality. It gives you the ability or the power to not accept a bad deal. However, retiring early or retirement takes away or exercises that option and therefore takes it off the table. So instead of following FIRE, you should be following financial independence, retain option, or call it FIRO. Whatever may be your FIRE age, I think it is too young of an age for you to start taking away options instead of adding them. If you think about FIRE, like the financial independence and retire early, it is actually an oxymoron, because as you start taking away or burning the options that you have, you are risking your financial independence as well. As you retain the options or as you increase your options, then you are increasing your financial independence at the same time. So the real objective should never be about quitting job as soon as possible or retiring as soon as possible. The real objective should be about reducing financial dependence by increasing optionality. The more options that you have on the table, the more power you have to choose the game that you actually want to play. And once you have made your choices, you can continue to play those games as long as possible. That said, I will end the video here. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.